Hi, I'm Barry. I'm a retired electrician. After 40 years, I took up the hobby of quilting, which has quickly become an addiction, and you'll find out here really soon why. Some of you already know. I went to the Paducah Quilt Show last week. I'm going to show you my new Dresden block, and I'm going to tell you about a surprise that I got. The first thing, the Paducah Quilt Show, it was like Christmas in April for me. I got to get out of town, go down to something and see things that I love. I think they had like over 500 quilts there, which all of them, I think I've seen most of them at least twice, if not more. All of them were beautiful. I can only aspire, is that the word? Aspire to be that good, maybe someday. But they were all beautiful. I did get to meet a winner, and I didn't even tell her about my fair quilt, but her advice was, if you've ever thought about entering, you need to enter a quilt show. So I'm going to give that to you too. You know, just do it. She said it was like $25, and she actually put two in, and one of them she got a ribbon in, and this was her first time. So that was pretty motivational that, you know, it is possible. I went down, I got to meet David from Juki Junkies. That was a thrill to get my photo with him. And also got to meet one of you, a subscriber. I didn't know. She just says, "Hey, are you Barry?" I said, "Yeah." And I was sort of shocked and stunned that somebody knew me there. But she said she follows me on YouTube, and that she was going to send me a button. So I think it's Cheryl from Arizona. I mean, I was, if I seemed a little stupid then, is because I was in shock that somebody knew me. But the honor was all mine, by the way, and I look forward to getting your button. That was a big thrill for me, by the way. But anyways, I went to Paducah, or Hancock Fabrics of Paducah, and I bought this. That place was like Black Friday. It was a madhouse there. But I bought this Dresden plate ruler set. I've been wanting to do this. The wedge here, you can cut wedges out for the fan blades, and the circle is for the centerpiece. And so I bought, I don't know if you remember this, but I bought a layer cake on Amazon a couple months ago, and I've been trying to figure out what to do with it. So I've sat here and I have cut out every piece of that layer cake to make this, which is my Dresden plate. This is the first time I've ever done it. It was actually a lot easier than what it looks like. The hardest part is probably the circle here, which I used some fusible backing, and then I just sewed around my top piece and the fusible, and then turned it inside out, and it actually come up fairly round. I'm really pretty happy about it. The fan blades, like I said, they look really hard. You just take the wedge that you cut, you fold it face side together, good side, what do they call that? Good side together, and then just make a crease down the length of it there, and there's a reason why you do that. But then once you get that crease in there, you just sew a 1/4 inch from your open side to the back side. Just sew you a 1/4 inch seam there, and then when you got that, you can just turn it inside out, and you're left with a cute little fan blade there. And you use that crease to line up here, I'll see if you can see. You use this crease that you put in here to line up the back side of your fold, and then you just press it, and it comes out really nice. And then I just put two of them face sides together and sew a 1/4 inch down through here. And well, here's the first ones I did. I made 5 of them, because it takes 20 of these to make a circle. And I saw that you should do them in groups of 5 to make a quadrant. Make 4 of them, and you can take a square. Let me move this out of the way. I'm not doing a tutorial. I just wanted to if you're, my thing is, if you ever wanted to do these, it's not that difficult. I gotta take my ruler and put it here to make sure that we're square. You just do that 4 times, and next thing you know, you got yourself a circle. So I'm really happy with that. But I gotta quit because I still got 2 other quilts. I finished my scrappy quilt last a couple days ago that I was been working on. It's done, and I'll show you in the next video that. My fair quilt, I need to get back on it to get it done. So before I get too carried away making a Dresden plate quilt, I need to get on to finishing my other ones. And so here's the news. I have another spare bedroom that has been, for the last 2 years that I've lived here, has been nothing but a junk room. I cleaned all of it out. I have some horrible green painted walls that I had to put some kills on it to try to get that cleaned up. But I'm going to eventually put me a curtain rod up there so that I can hang quilts on that, so it's easier for you to see hanging up than back here on behind me. So I'm going to do that. And then the big news is I bought a long arm from Grace. I bought actually, some people call it a mid-arm. I bought the Unique 16X Elite. I was going to wait to buy it, but, you know, I'm at the age now, I was like, if not now, when? And so me and the bank are now proud owners of a Grace Unique 16X Elite. And I was going to been looking at the Little Rebel. And I thought about getting the Little Rebel because it should do fine, but you know, they keep telling you that it's a sewing machine / quilting machine, and I knew if I bought that, I would probably always still want the 16. And the reason I went with 16 and not the 19 or the 21 is because if I was doing it for a living, I'd buy the 21. But doing it as a hobby, and some of you have mentioned that you saw my new cutie frame, which I have not shown you yet. I bought the cutie frame, which that should be fine for me, at least for now. So hopefully I'll do an unboxing of that in the next video. So me and the bank are now partners on a very expensive machine. My mom couldn't believe it when I told her how much I spent, but I told her, I said, look, if I was to go out and buy a $30,000 bass boat that I can only use 6 months a year and maybe 2 days a week at the most, you wouldn't even bat an eye. But because I bought a long arm that I can quilt with 365 days a year in my home, and it will last forever. I don't know why you're freaking out about that. It's a hobby that I love. I'm in it to stay, or at least the bank hopes so. So I bought it, and I can't wait. I like to finish. I like to be able to say that I started a quilt and finished it myself. I know a lot of people send theirs out to long armors. That's fine. I just prefer to be able to do my quilting in my home by myself. And here's how I justified it. Besides the bass boat analogy, I think, you correct me if I'm wrong, but if I was to do a queen-sized quilt and send it out to a long armor, I'm probably going to pay at least $250 to $350 or more. You know, depends on what you have done to it. So I just rounded off to, you know, $300 to send it off to a long armor. After like 15 quilts, this will be paid for, and I'm already on my 4th quilt now. So, you know, that includes the very first one I made, the scrappy quilt, the fair quilt, and hopefully this Dresden. So I'm already a quarter of the way paid for by just not having to send it off to a long armor by doing it myself. That's how I justified it. You know, maybe right or wrong. I'm looking forward to it. Well, here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm trying to set it up to do some pantographs. I think I can scoot that cutie frame out far enough, and we'll get into that later on, but I think I can scoot that cutie frame out far enough that I can put a pantograph in front. And I've got a laser coming with this machine that I can do pantographs on the front and quilt it. I'm hoping that's the way it works out. We'll see. But anyways, I just want to give you a real quick recap. I'm still live. Very busy week. I had a great time, and I was out making memories. So that's what I want to encourage you to do. Is memories are most important. So go out and make some memories for yourself. And I will see you later. Bye.